Hello and welcome to Scale War Machines and the second part in this series about painting the Young's miniatures bust of Sean Connery. In the previous episode I prepared and primed the model and blocked out the basic colours. For this part of the process I'll be using the excellent Andrea colour paint range, their acrylics, and I'll be using their face painting set. We've reviewed this set before and there's a link in the description. I start off by spraying a base mix loosely over the face, just a very thin coat applied by airbrush. Next up I reach for their white set, and using an off-white colour I just block out the whites of the eyes. Next up, using their brown set and this paint reference, my plan is to block out the iris. Now this is going to be done very roughly, and you can see me just trying to get colour in the centre of the eye, around the iris, and just trying to get it to look right. Not too bothered if it's a bit messy at this stage. The advantage is you can always tidy up either side with some white. Using the next colour in their brown set, a lighter version, I mix that up and create a central highlight area within the iris. This will get lighter and lighter, but to start with I just want to get a central area to pop with a brighter colour. I then add more off-white and continue to work the centre of the iris. As you can see, this is a process. There's constant adjustments and tweaks and changes, as well as intermixing and changing of colours. I adjusted this central highlight until I was happy. If I thought it was too bright, I'd go over it again with a wash of a darker brown, and that yielded something like that. As you can see, I reached for another one of their sets and used a black mix to pick out the pupil. It's worth taking your time over this. You want to just make sure everything is aligned and looking correct. Any mistakes can of course be touched up. I still wasn't quite happy with everything, but it was good enough for now. You can see there's a kind of dark circle around the iris, a highlight and a pupil in the centre. Then, because Sean Connery was famous for the cheeky twinkle in his eye, I was keen to make sure I captured that. But using a little bit of white, or off-white because white would be too bright, I just picked out a little highlight spot in the top right of the eyeball. Again, I wasn't always 100% happy with that. I thought it was too bright, too big, so I toned it down, again just with the darker mix. I was never really that happy with the two irises on this figure, but it was good enough, especially considering when you frame the eyes and paint round them, they really start to come alive. But I thought I'd captured the essence of his eyes, and now it's time to frame them. To do that I mixed up a sort of dark crimson-y mix using various references. You can see it there. And just very gently what you want to do is frame out the eye. Kind of like using an eyeliner. So you block your way around the eye, framing it in, being very careful not to undo any of the careful work previously done. Just take your time. As you should all know, I'm not an expert figure painter by any means, but I've honed various techniques and ways of working quickly, and this is intended really for beginners. As you can see, I've just blocked out those eyes. Now, if you're not already aware, a wet palette is a way to keep your acrylic paints fresh and moist. This is an AK Interactive wet palette. And using a base flesh mix from the set, what I'm doing is I'm just applying thin coats all over the face. Not trying to put it on thickly, not trying to get perfect coverage, just sort of a thin milky mix that goes all over the flesh parts of the face. You can leave the eyes alone for now if you want, or just kind of loosely paint around them. These are really good paints and they dry really matte, but it does take a little while, but these are some of the mattest paints I've ever found. You can see they're still slightly greasy in this photo, but they will dry really matte. I then reached for a darker shadow colour from the same set. This was carefully painted into all the recesses, wrinkles, creases, anywhere where there'd be shadows. Constantly being blended with a thin flat brush. And just repeatedly working my way around the shadow areas. As you can see, it's quite orangey, but that will all be sorted out later. With these paints, it's just a case of alternating between application and blending, and I find that gets the best results. Sometimes you can bring out the thicker flat brush to blend entire areas of the face, but just work slowly and patiently, and the result is quite effective. Remember, with these paints, same as any other paints we've featured that are acrylics, it's about building up layers, thin layers, one on top of the other. Okay, so most of the left hand side is getting a little bit of shadow, and also you can see me reapplying the base at times, particularly on the highlight areas. So top of the cheekbones, chin, etc. So essentially I'm working between the base colour and that deep shadow. I've done the most on the right hand side of the face, and you'll see that is particularly orangey. There you can see the difference. And it's quite greasy at this stage because it hasn't dried, but it will dry pretty quickly. So I've just gone back to the other main colour I'm using at the moment, the shadow, as opposed to the base mix. There you can see the contrast in effects. And when both sides of the face are done, you get something like this. And then it's time to go back to an ever so slightly lightened version of the base mix and just key in all your highlights. You can be quite sort of broad brush at this stage. What you'll notice there is these paints are excellent, but they can come undone a little bit. They're very thin and fragile. That's what makes them so excellent and so matte. But they can thin and come undone. And there you can see on that cheekbone, they've come undone. That's fine, you just let them dry and then reapply. It's really not a problem, but it's worth being aware of that. Here you can see how it's progressing. I was very keen to get a very clean skin tone, worthy of a movie star. So I didn't want it highly sort of battered and dirty. I wanted quite a clean flesh effect. At this stage then I've mixed up a sort of crimsony colour, and that's going to be used to pick out the eyelids. Trying to really get the blood capillaries of the eyes. Just go slowly, carefully, and pick out the lower eyelid. Time to deal with some of the facial hair now, so black and brown was mixed up and the moustache was just picked out, and then later on I'll go and pick out all the eyebrows, the main head of hair as well. Just work slowly. I'm trying to make it look like hair or hint at hair by making it rough and putting in tiny brush strokes around the eyebrows. that's how it looks for now. So we've got a base mix face with some areas of shadow and facial hair. For the actual hair, I just went over what was sprayed in the previous video with that dark hair mix, just very thin repeated coats. Now these are Vallejo paints, and I intermixed them with the Andrea paints. They both intermix really well, and that allowed me to get a flesh shade for highlighting that I was really happy with. So again, it's all mixed up in the wet palette to keep it fresh and moist. And then the highlighting is the really fun part, where you try and hit all the areas that would catch the light. So like the underside of creases, prominent features on the neck and so on, and you just paint those very thin coats of highlight and then blend and work your way around the face. Anything like earlobes, ridge of the nose, etc., that's what you're going to paint. You can see the brush I use there. A lot of people ask what brushes. They're just sable brushes from Hysterex. I've also got some Andrea brushes and some life colour brushes. The flat ones tend to be the life colour brushes. Okay, so I'm just picking out the wrinkles around the eyes, the top of the eyes, and then later on I'll obviously pick out the bags under the eyes as well. A bit more mixing in the wet palette. And yet again, it's just a case of building up repeated highlights. Just keep going. There I am hitting the eye bags, again just very carefully. And you can add just highlights to anywhere that you think need to catch the light. The more coats you apply, the more highlighted they'll be. Time for all the forehead detail. Again, same principles apply, same basic mix with a bit more of the lighter component. The mistake would be to splodge paint on when you're a beginner at this. You just need to learn that thin, translucent coats, as I always say, are the way to get the results. Now there'll be a stage you go through where it almost looks fake because there's just so much highlighting going on, and you can tone that all down later with washes of the base mix. At this stage it's important to get it kind of popping and blended in terms of all the highlighting. That's what I'm trying to achieve here, and it is starting to come together now. The effect of that flat brush is to smooth everything out, so each time you apply it you smooth it, and eventually you get quite nice smooth contrast. As you can see, it looks a lot better at a distance, but that's purely because the blending is starting to work. And eventually when you do it well, if you look right up close, it will be just as smooth, and the transitions between all the colours will be smooth and natural. So as I progress now, I'm putting thinner highlights, and I've added more of the lightened tone. So it's a much lighter version of the highlight mix, but applied very thinly, as you can see around the lips here, top of the chin. And I keep going back to the eye bags, and that's important because they really are key to kind of framing that eye and making the eyes look natural. As stated, he's going to have a very clean skin because of course he is a movie star, and so the bulk of the work is going on highlighting. Okay, there we have it, and now a slightly redder tone was mixed up and added to all the different colours on the palette, and it's often a case of just kind of dipping into all sorts of different colours and mixing, so it's quite hard to tell you the exact ratio. I just picked out the shadow areas and coloured areas of the lips, tried to get a sense of the structure of the lip as well, with some lines. And then a bit like the eyes, I just framed it again, but this time with a highlight colour. When it appeared too stark, I just went over it again with the lip colour mix, just very lightly. That's what we have so far. So with the face done, it's time to seal everything. That means we can do subsequent coats. And I seal using Model Colour Matte Varnish from Vallejo. Love this varnish. It's really good at just flattening everything down, whether it's a model or a figurine or a bust. And that means everything's sealed and safe. And in the next episode, we'll look at painting the uniform. I was going to put it all in one episode, but it just felt too long and I needed more time to show how I painted the uniform. I hope you've enjoyed this second part. If you're new to figure painting and bust painting, I hope you realise that it is just a case of patience and repeated layers. I really recommend you have a go. When I first started painting busts, I just had a go at it, enjoyed doing it, and then people seem to like them on YouTube, so I do more and more of them. The advantage of a bust is it's really quick to do, especially with acrylics. Working with acrylics is so fast, especially if you use a hairdryer. You can really blast through a figure quite quickly. Please like and subscribe. Always welcome your support. Thanks to everyone who's supported the channel so far. Okay, thanks a lot and bye.
Subscribe for our latest videos.